Randy Ladobruk was inducted into the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame in 2008. Randy, congratulations on your induction. Talk about baseball and what drew you to the sport and realize that, geez, this is a lot of fun and this is something I'd like to do for a lot of summers.
Well, I guess we started back in 1970, I guess. Cousin Kerry Candy, which was playing ball in Elmwood, in the area I was living in the North End at the time, and there was no ball, or I wasn't involved with anybody out in that area, and got involved and had to go across the bridge to Elmwood area to play some ball with him, and we had to play with the address things here because we had to be in certain areas to play ball at that time, so we had to put his address down, so I was able to play ball and got to play with him, and that's how I started with the ball back in, I guess, 1970.
Catching. Talk about being behind the plate and just what was all involved in learning that trade.
It's one of those opportunities where I got where catcher couldn't make it one day, and it was one of those things, who wants to go catch or try to put on the equipment and give it a shot, and I guess I had no fear there. I thought I'd like to give it a shot, and after that game there, I'd never seen the rest of the field. I caught every game after that, so it's one of those opportunities which arose, and I guess I did a good enough job to keep that position.
Let's talk about the developmental process of catching and just the coaching involved and the guidance you got in order to become a great catcher that you were.
Well, playing through the Chalmers, I guess, organization back in '70, there was some good coaching that we got, and they helped us out. And I'm just being a baseball enthusiast, just watching a lot of ball and seeing the major leagues and how the top of the catchers that they have in the league and what they do and how they work on things, and just tried to forte something behind one of the favorite catchers in the majors. So
who was your favorite catcher in Major League Baseball back then?
That would have been Thurman Munson from the Yankees back in his day there, where
scrappy and
scrappy, yeah, and just give his all the time, and there's just watching him, and he's throwing the ball back faster to the pitcher than the pitcher's throwing to him in that there. So it was just something he was my idol in that, growing up, and someone to try to follow and try to watch every game that they were involved in. So,
was there a part of catching that you really had to work on a lot in order to perfect your craft on either blocking balls in the dirt or calling a game, or part of that did you really have to work on?
Blocking was, I guess, to work on a little bit more, because I was always trying to use the glove in that and thinking that I can pick up the short hops all the time, which that doesn't, it's hard to do that there with the ball skimming once and trying to pick up a short hop all the time. So you had to, the proper way of doing it there, getting down and getting the chest, in the C form to make sure that the ball's going to stay in front of you and not deflect it to the side. You have to square up. So that was a little hard to work on, but I guess after a few years it seemed to just catch on, and it was pretty good. I guess after a while there, I guess I must have been there, so it was pretty good to help that out that way. So
your cousin struck out 441 batters in his career in the Manitoba Junior Baseball League. What was it like catching Kerry Candy?
Oh, it was easy. Like, we were on the same page, and it wasn't, probably can count on, both hands or how many times, like, he shook me off or whatever if there was something that he wanted to throw, but we knew exactly, what he wanted to throw, and just, checking out the batters and knowing, what's our out pitch to get him, so try to set him up that way. So we were, I guess, a good 1-2 punch, and we played together for quite a few years. So
3 junior championship teams with the Giants, also won a Western Canada title. Talk about those Elmwood teams and why they were so successful in the junior league.
Well, we started off, I guess, 78, I think, or 77. Elmwood organization got back into the junior league. We were just, first playing midget with some of our teams. The guys that we played with up to that point, and we had some good coaching, which brought the team together. And the first year that we entered, we made it to the final, and we ended up losing out to, I believe it was Carmen Goldeyes the first year, but that was a good experience there. Like, we took them right to, I think we went right to 5 games there, if not mistaken there. And then in junior, your team sticks together, you lose one guy or thing there, so, but we had a good nucleus to stick together and a great team and great coaching that we had, and it was just one of those, like a family for the ball, and the next year we ended up winning it, and same team together, we lost 1 or 2, and we gained a couple of new guys that come up from the midget, and next year we won it again, and then same thing the third year in that, so it was a great experience, and like I say, it was just a family, everyone stuck together on and off the field, and so it was like, you knew everybody, what they do and what they can do, and it was a great experience for that. Eventually
your junior career has to come to an end, but Red Boyne Senior, talk about playing senior ball against a lot of talented ball players.
Oh yeah, like there was the years that we played, like we moved up, like junior, you're playing more or less the same ones. Everyone's moved up where you're catching someone that's been in the Red Boyne for a few years already, which you might not have seen. They're 4 years older than what you are, so you would have never caught them in junior, and now you're facing some of their best talent, like in pitching wise, and like in some good hitters, so you don't know them, so you've got to more or less, you make some mistakes for, some pitches where you shouldn't, ask for, and so, but after a couple of years, it's, you got to know everybody again there, what you can do, and to which batter, or how to shy away from someone, and we had, I guess, some success, but never got a chance made it to the championship quite a few years, but we never, when I played the Red Boyne, I never made it to winning a senior Red Boyne though.
But you got there. You got to the final,
and it was just
Carmen Goldeyes, and
made it with St. Boniface Legionnaires were the 2 top, and Toulon was in there too. So we never could just get past that final hump. There were always the bridesmaid there for the few years there. So.
All right, talking something positive. '83, you win the Canadian Senior Championship, but you're playing in. Why the move to our neighboring province, and how'd that come about?
What ended up happening was, I guess, prior to the last year of junior, cousin Carrie Candy and I, we got an opportunity from someone that played in the Red Boyne League years back, and which was living in Australia at the time in Brisbane, and they were trying to develop their baseball program down there, and he had called back with some of the contacts that he had here, and he was looking for a pitcher, a catcher, and another hitter in that there if possible, because they were allowed 3 imports per team out there. And the gentleman that I guess you contacted here, well, like was knowing Kerry after his great junior career, and I guess part of me being catching with him there, so they kind of fitted us together, and we got a call saying we had an opportunity if we'd be interested in traveling to Australia, and we said, yeah, it sounded good or great, and like I say, it was one of those things where right place at the right time, and it paid off, and it was a great experience.
To win the Canadian Senior Championship, though, at Saskatchewan.
Oh, great, yeah.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah, so then what ended up happening, so that was after our junior, was 1980, we ended up going to Australia, so then when we come back from there the first year, then we had played I think it was a Western Canadians and Kinders League, and but we had I guess a great tournament there, Kerry and I, and they were looking for the same thing in their Saskatchewan League to bring players to their teams out there, so we got asked by them if we'd be interested in going out there, so we did, Kerry and I, and played out there. We had, like, I guess, extended another good season with them, and ended up being we had our season finished early, and the team, Saskatoon team that ended up winning the league that year, they got to go to the Nationals, and they were looking for another catcher to help out their team out there, because they had the 1 and 2, but when you go to a Nationals, you got to make sure you've got, so just in case someone gets hurt, so they had asked me to go with them, and I accepted there, so we ended up going out to the Nationals, and we ended up doing really well. I think we knocked off Manitoba in the bronze and ended up with the silver out there, so it was that was another great experience for, getting to play in a high level, for national, because you got all the best teams right across Canada playing there. So,
if you could pinpoint a highlight, I mean, you got so many of them from playing. Just what's you remember that you're going to take with you forever? That's one of my playing days that this happened, and it's pretty amazing.
Well, I guess Australia has to be one of the main points there. We get there after a 22-hour flight on a Friday night. We're dead tired. We're jet lagged. Our first game is on the Sunday. We get up and we end up playing against a team that's won their league out there for the last 3 seasons, and we're facing a pitcher that just held Cuba to 3-2 in the Worlds that previous spring or fall when they played there, and it was just like a heads up, and like you say, here we are, facing their best pitcher from Australia that made their national team, and this is our first game of our season starting out there. So it was, and going 3 for 5 off the pitcher that just held Cuba, 3 runs, 3 doubles off of him, and great game. Played against so we fit in, I guess, really well with that team, and then I guess it was one of those boasting things there where they had a guy on their team that held the record for 43 stolen bases and never been thrown out, and I ended up throwing him out the first time he tried to steal when we were there. So that was to top off a great game against their pitcher and catching someone that's, I guess, dominated their league and not thrown out, which. That was, I guess, got to be one of my top stories that I remember really well.
One last question. That's in regard to June of 2008 and your induction into the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame. Memories of that day up at the podium that night and just what it meant in front of family, friends, teammates, to be up there and to thank everybody and talk about your career.
Like you say, I was very nervous going there, but I was really appreciate that I was being honored with all the rest of the great ball players that have played in Manitoba and played with and against a lot of them, and just to have that opportunity to have that 10 minutes of fame there in front of everybody, and just to express and being added to their elite group that's been playing ball. And like I say, very nervous. I'm not a very talkative type guy in that there. Like I say, I'm a silent type, but try to do the actions on the field. And it was just, like I say, and that's another I'll never forget either, to being, part of the Hall of Fame for Manitoba.
Randy, thanks a lot for this, and congratulations on your great career behind the plate.
Thank you very much.
Randy Ladobruk was inducted into the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame in 2008. I'm Clayton Dreger.